Hey everybody, it's Elliot from Little Punk People here, and today I'm here with my father once again, and today we're going to be doing our top 10 favorite albums to listen to in the spring. We're going to be focusing on hard rock and metal albums.
Yes, and I'm really excited that winter is finally over. It was a long winter and spring is here, and the weather's getting warmer, and we're going to try to provide some nice views for you a little bit. And for my list, I focused on stuff that was released around springtime as well. So my top 10 heavy rock albums that were released around springtime that are for the spring.
Same here. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I'm going to start it off. You ready? I'm going to go quick here. I got two honorable mentions to start off. I have Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, which is released on May 10th, 1984. And I also have, this really isn't hard, heavy rock, but I wanted to throw it in here because you just got your Jazzmaster that you bought. Actually, I'm going to roll in that photo of you with your new Jazzmaster. Roll it in. This band is called Best Coast. They're rock. I would call it more alternative rock, but the album's called The Only Place, and it was released May 15th, 2012, and I just really like this band. I love her vocals, and I love the Jazzmaster guitars. It's really poppy, but I like it because it reminds me that summer is on the way, the warmer weather is here, and it's time to start enjoying life a little more. And my other honorable mention is Nirvana, Nevermind. Okay? So those are my honorable mentions. Just want to throw them out real quick.
Good.
Okay, my number 10 is The White Stripes, Elephant, which was released April 1st, 2003. The songs There's No Hope for You Here. No, There's No Home for You Here. Sorry about that. Hardest Button to Button. But the whole album, I think that this is their best record. And I think it's very awesome, and it's very consistent throughout with no filler. And I love his vocals. I love everything about it. Very organic, very minimal, just drums, guitar, vocals, just really cool. But I think that's their best record. In this list, I'm trying to throw in a couple other bands that we haven't covered yet. So that's one of them. Okay, so
now for my number 10, I have Kiss's Destroyer. It was released in 1976, March. It's right before spring, so it still counts.
Oh yeah.
Shot It Out Loud, Detroit Rock City, and Beth. Kiss is a classic band for me. I listened to them growing up, so it always brings me back to the good days, and I would totally have a barbecue pool party and just listen to this album all in full. So I think it works well.
Barbecue poop party?
Poop party.
Okay, I'm going to do my number 9 and my number 8 relatively quickly. So for number 9, I have Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, released April 23rd, 1988. Can I Play With Madness is one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs. It wasn't back then because the Headbangers Ball, and even when I listened to WSOU, they played the hell out of it all the time. But then it just became a part of me. So now it is one of my favorites. I liked it back then, but it's just like, this isn't as heavy as the other stuff. It was more catchy, but it's awesome. It reminds me of spring anyway. And it reminds me of being a kid. I also love Moonchild, The Evil That Men Do, The Clairvoyant. So many awesome songs off this album. Beautiful album cover. Incredible band. I'll always think of spring, especially for this album. This Iron Maiden album reminds me of spring more than any other Iron Maiden album. So that's number 9. And for number 8, this is something a little different. Sonic Youth. The album's called Sonic Nurse. It was released June 8th, 2004, which is like the end of spring, towards the end of spring. And I really love this album, back to the Jazzmaster that you just got. I love the guitars on this, the way that they complement each other, the way they're layered. I love Kim Gordon. I love her vocals. She's my favorite vocalist in this band. And it's a really cool album, noisy at times, but then really beautiful at other times. I just love the way the guitars are layered, and it does remind me of spring. And that's my number 8.
Nice. Now for my number 9 and number 8, I have Queen as my number 9. Queen, A Night at the Opera. Another band, 2 bands in a row that I just grew up listening to, loving. Queen was one of my favorite bands ever, and it still is to this day. I grew up listening to this specific album in general, so whenever I hear Queen, whenever I hear this album, I always think about playing with my friends in the park, and I did that a lot in the spring. Incredible album, another classic. And then, now for my number 8, I have Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? This was released in May 12th, in 1967. And in the album cover, they're all standing in front of pink trees. And when is there pink trees?
Spring.
You got it right.
Okay, I'm going to start my number, what am I doing? 7 and 6. I'm going to do my number 7 and number 6 in a row here. So for my number 7, okay, I mentioned this band a lot, but I listen to them a lot. I try not to get too repetitious, but anyway, Judas Priest at number 7, British Steel. It was released in the spring. It reminds me of spring. It's a great spring record. It was released April 14th, 1980. It has the songs Metal Gods, one of my favorites, Living After Midnight, like summer's coming, spring is here, the warmer weather is here, let's get in the car, let's go party, let's start living after midnight, staying up late, the sun's out later. So I had to include Judas Priest. They're in a lot of our lists. And number 6 is Scorpions with Blackout, released April 10th, 1982. I love the Scorpions, total fun rock, heavy rock, metal, classic metal, whatever you want to call it, classic rock. Total party band, total fun, catchy songs. Just a great band altogether. And this is one of my favorites. Might be my number 1 from them. It's very consistent all the way through. There's no filler on this album. From song to song, it's freaking awesome. And you got Can't Live Without You, one of my favorites. Of course, No One Like You, one of their most popular songs. But yes, the Scorpions are on my spring list. What are on your list? Who is your number 6 and 7?
Okay, my number 6 and 7 is, I'm going to start with number 7, and that is AC/DC, Back in Black. This was recorded during April. It wasn't released in the spring, but it was recorded in the spring.
Cheater.
Sorry. Angus Young is probably one of my top guitarists ever. The first guitar I ever got was an SG. And whenever I hear his guitar playing, I always feel conviction. I said that in one of the other videos. Positivity. I feel motivated. So whenever I think of spring, I think of positivity and motivation. And Angus Young brings that all the time. We saw that recent live concert thing, and he was literally playing and dancing the entire show.
I think it's that we own the DVD. I think it's Live at Donington, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that.
And I had to pick Back in Black because it is literally one of the best albums of all time. So, now for my number 6, I have Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Guns N' Roses, this is another classic and timeless album. Guns N' Roses are known for partying, so this is another band that I would listen at a pool party, barbecue. And this album was released in like July or June, so in the summer. So this album is getting me ready for summer.
Guns N' Roses, those are really good picks. Guns N' Roses, I think, is one of the best rock albums of all time. And at AC/DC, you're talking about Angus Young's energy, and my energy starts to come back in the springtime because a lot of my energy, if you look at our winter video, I probably look and seem a little more dead on the inside. I'm a little more energetic now. I feel better. I also just want to say real quick, out of the blue, I hope you could see my awesome shirt. Here, give me a second. Whoa. That is my vintage vinyl shirt that we got at Vintage Vinyl, one of our favorite record stores here in New Jersey. On the bottom it says, proudly serving Satan since 1979. But anyway, Jersey Devil right there. I just wanted to throw that in. Okay, we just relocated to another spot, so hopefully you could enjoy this view now. Ta-da. But yeah, so I hope you like this view. Anyway, so now we are on number 5. So I'm going to do number 5 and number 4. Cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so for my number 5 and number 4, I have number 5, Motorhead, Overkill, which was released March 24th, 1979, which is pretty much right before spring starts. What a way to end the winter and get ready for spring, huh?
Yeah.
Motorhead's one of my favorite bands, and the songs Stay Clean, No Class, Louie Louie, which is a cover by the Kingsmen. This whole album is great, and very, very important album for this spring list. And then for my number 4, I have AC/DC, Who Made Who. This was released May 24th, 1986. I think actually most people know this, but I think that This was like also the soundtrack to that movie Maximum Overdrive years ago that I saw. So there's a lot of AC/DC in that movie. And I watched it when I was a kid in 1986, and I liked it. But anyway, this has a lot of great, it's like a compilation type album. It's got Shook Me, Hell's Bells. It has Ride On, the song Ride On, which is really cool. It's a little bit different sounding than other AC/DC songs. I don't know if it's on any other AC/DC albums. And of course, Who Made Who? I love that song. So this is a really, really, really cool album, and I think it's a lot of fun for the spring.
Nice choice.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, for my number 5, I have Saxon, Denim and Leather. This is another band that is debuting on my lists. First heard this band.
Welcome, Saxon, to our list, Mania.
Welcome. They are honored to be on our list. Well, when I first heard Saxon, especially the song Denim and Leather, it was in 6th grade in language arts class. I remember it specifically because the language arts teacher would always let me listen to music, so I'd go on some random website and just listen to a rock and metal playlist. And Denim and Leather came on all the time, and I remembered every bit of it, and I remember it specifically being spring to make it even better. This album is incredible. Princess of the Night is one of my favorite songs. The singing melodies on that song are so comforting sounding, and he's got an incredible voice too. So, Saxon, welcome to the spring list.
Hell yeah.
And now, for number 4, I have Dio, Holy Diver. This was released May 25th, 1983. Another classic. Dio has one of the most just has one of those voices, a lot like Ozzy, where it just makes you feel good. It makes you smile, and that's perfect for spring. He has one. He has one of the most iconic voices ever. Stand Up and Shout, Rainbow in the Dark, Holy Diver, just incredible catalog of songs on that album.
Awesome choices, both of them. Saxon, I think it's funny that you got into Saxon completely on your own, discovered them on your own, but also Dio, like, definitely reminds me of, like, late spring nights and then into late summer nights. Just an incredible album. Good
Yes.
choices.
Thank
Good
you.
choices.
Thank you.
So now we're going to go into number 3 and number 2. I just want to say really quickly, it's nice and peaceful and quiet right now. Because a lot of times when we go out here, like, we got to find a good spot to film. And sometimes we run into other groups of hikers, and sometimes it distracts us, so we got to wait till we find another spot. We found this spot. I'm not like a people person, but I am. Like, I love people, but sometimes I'm not a good people person. I think they call it an extroverted introvert. So anyone that's the same as that, please comment down below and wave your hands. Hi.
Okay, I'll be commenting down below.
No, I mean, I do love people. I mean,
Yeah, me
but
too.
At the same time, I'm sure people understand, like, sometimes you just, when you want to get away from people, but you still love people.
Yeah, sometimes you want to just alienate yourself, and then other times you want to be around talking with people.
Yeah. And when you do find people, or where you're with people, when you're with people that you
really
love,
like,
you just can't shut up.
Yeah.
So, okay, so who's next?
You.
Me, okay. So number 3, number 2. Okay, for number 3, this is a band that we have not mentioned. I have not mentioned yet in any of our lists. It's a rock band called, many of you know, Stone Temple Pilots. I love this album. It's Tiny Music. I think it's Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop is the full name of it. But this was released March 26, 1996, once again, right before spring starts. So it's a really cool release date for an album, you know, right before you're reborn, right before you start getting your energy again, right before the leaves and the trees start budding and the days become longer. But anyway, this album is really good. Rest in peace, of course, to Scott Weiland. And the song Lady Picture Show is incredible. Trippin' on a Hole in the Paper Heart is one of their best songs, and that's on this album. Another song called And So I Know, a little bit different kind of a song, is really good. Then the last track on this album is called Seven Caged Tigers. These are all great songs. What a great singer, what a great rock band. And I really wish he never died. I really wish they were still around dropping records, because they put out a lot of good stuff and a lot of really cool songs. And to me, over the years, they got better and better, like more of like a unique rock band. So, Stone Temple Pilots. And then my number 2 is another one, you know, maybe a lot of watchers probably aren't into, but we love this band. Dinosaur Jr. The record is called Green Mind. This was big when I was in high school. So it was released February 19th, 1991. I let this one pass because it's February. Yeah, February. It was released in February. I let that pass because it's close enough to when spring is going to start soon. And by the time this record was jamming and a lot of people were playing it, it was springtime by the time it got around.
So basically, you were saying I was a cheater earlier, but you're technically also a cheater.
A little tiny bit. And Jazzmaster guitar, J Mascis, one of my favorite guitarists ever. The songs, the melodies, the guitar solos, everything about it. One of the best album covers ever, too. That one, I'm not going to put all the album covers on this video, but I'll put that one up. Roll it up. There. You see that? What an album cover. But anyway, yes, Dinosaur Jr., this was big when I was in high school, and this was rocked a lot by all of us, and jammed a lot by all of us in the spring. So that's why it's at number 2.
Okay. All right, so I have the White Stripes, Elephant, as my number 3. This was released April 1st, so not too long ago from the time we're filming this. One of the greatest rock albums ever, one of the greatest rock bands ever. So raw, so powerful, conviction. I think in this day and age, we need another young, powerful rock band to come around. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm sure they exist and there's a lot of them, but you know, we just got to research more and find more. But like a young rock band to just explode.
Blow up, yeah.
Yeah.
Now for my number 2, he stole this from me. My number 2 is Dinosaur Jr. also, but it's a different album, Where You Been. That title is basically me after a long winter, and spring's finally here, and the sun's out. I'm like, where you been? Released February 4th, 1993. Very, very springy tones. He was talking about the Jazzmaster. The thing with Jazzmaster, especially in Dinosaur Jr., always keeps it heavy, but you can still feel like the smile behind the guitar at the same time. I always felt that good sense of relief when listening to Jazzmaster bands. And the song Start Choppin' is my favorite Dinosaur Jr. song, and that opening riff makes me happy.
And check out Elliot's interview with J Mascis of Dinosaur Jr. because just before we were talking about introverts, and I wouldn't consider him to be a big people person, but he's very quiet. He's just an interesting individual, and but the music and the guitar solos are just like, sounds like buildings are on fire everywhere, yet melodic at the same time. So definitely check out Dinosaur Jr. They were really big in the 90s, but they're still putting out albums. They have a brand new album coming out soon. So definitely, if you haven't checked them out, definitely check out Dinosaur Jr., especially if you're into guitar music, guitar rock. I think J Mascis is influenced by everything from like Black Sabbath. He did an interview once in his favorite Sabbath album. He said it was Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, which is similar to us. But he's also influenced by Neil Young and a lot of punk and hardcore. So like everything, like it's just such a unique sound that he has.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so as you can see, we're at our final location. A lot of bugs up here. So we're gonna do our number 1 here. I hope you can enjoy the beautiful sounds and the beautiful view, and hopefully we don't fall backwards. Okay, so for my number 1, I have Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, which was released on March 28th, 1973, once again, right when spring begins. This is a classic rock, but still considered heavy rock to me as well. The song remains the same. Rain Song, Over the Hills and Far Away, No Quarter. So many awesome songs on this record. This is a spring album for me. Driving down the road with the windows down, blasting this, or even hiking. Like when you're hiking, like I could picture No Quarter like playing in the background. Such an awesome album. It's a classic, and Led Zeppelin is it for me.
All right, because I wanted to one-up my dad, here is another incredible view. I think this one is the best so far. Now, for my number 1, it is Nirvana's Nevermind. This is an album that I don't even need to say much. You know how incredible it is. In a song like In Bloom, what happens in the spring? Stuff blooms. And one of the first lyrics in that song is Spring is Here Again. It is just an all-around incredible album that deserves to be number 1.
Oh. Whoa, that was a rough climb. Once again, please Dork. Once again, please like this video. Please comment down below with your favorite albums for springtime. If you could try to keep it within the range of albums that were released around springtime, like we did for the most part, do that. But if not, that's fine too. But please let us know your favorite spring records, and let us know in the comments. We love reading your comments. And please subscribe to us on Instagram, Little Punk People. Little Punk People on Facebook. Getting out of shape in my age. And Little Punk People, we're on Twitter. So yeah, please like, subscribe, follow us, tell other people about us. We love you, and it really means a lot to us. Am I missing anything?
Once again, just thank you so much for all your support, and make sure you comment down below those lists. Once again, thank you so much, and have an incredible spring. Yeah!
Peace. Okay, I'm gonna head down, buddy.
Okay. You need help?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Take care.
You know, there's just like a hiking trail over here. Whatever.